Welcome everybody to Next Level Contractor and One Exam Prep, and today we are talking about how to pass the West Virginia Contractor exam in 2026, what the board expects. There's been a lot of changes in West Virginia, and today we've got Andrew here from One Exam Prep. Welcome, Andrew.
Hey, no, it's good to be back. Thank you for having me.
Great. All right, well, we're going to jump right into West Virginia, all about West Virginia Contractor exams. So let's kick it off. So why don't you tell us, the exam has changed recently, so why don't you elaborate on that?
Right. So many people who've been looking into this or perhaps been licensed in other states, they're familiar with a business law exam, which West Virginia had up until very recently. Up until very recently, it was with the Prove Business Law Guide for Contractors. It was a couple hundred pages, similar to a NASCA book, if folks watching are familiar with those. And it was an open book exam based on that book. Well, Virginia changed it kind of dramatically, right? So now it's called the Contractor Licensing Act exam. It fills the same purpose as the business law exam. You need to do that one and your trade exam to get your license. But the difference with this exam is now you have a pamphlet of rules and statutes. So much less of a footprint than that business law study guide the exam used to be based on. And also now one would argue a little more practical because rules, laws, regulations specific to West Virginia. In those business law manuals, you get a lot of generic like business type information things. So much more focused on West Virginia specifically, the exam is now.
Okay. And they're open book, and can you explain what that means and a little bit about that?
Yep. So open book, you can bring that pamphlet of rules, laws, and statutes in with you. And you can still bring in just a asterisk. You can still bring in the full Pro Business Law Manual if you'd like. In One Exam Prep in our course, we note the pages in that business law manual that are applicable to the new exam. So they let you bring in either or. So that's good for folks who maybe got their book a few months ago before it changed and still haven't tested. But open book, the answers are in the book, right? The trick to the whole thing is when you read the question, find the answers before you run out of time. 90 questions, 180 minutes, right? It's exactly 2 minutes a question if my math is mathing today. So even with the small pamphlet or one book, that's not a ton of time. You have to practice with the book, build the muscle memory, learn to recognize keywords, correlate those keywords with specific rules and statute sections. So when you read the question, it's somewhere you've been before. You know where to go to find the answer.
Right. Okay. Got it. All right. So I know you've recorded something for us here, so let's take a look at that.
So what this is just a quick demo of our course for that Contractor Licensing Act exam, One Exam Preps course. Starts off foundational, gives you all the background info, the scope of the exam, how you sign up for it. Moving through the scope of the exam, we give you the tabbing and highlighting instructions for the book. Encourage folks to get their book professionally tabbed and highlighted, but instructions to do it yourself. Or if you do get it done professionally, definitely want to review these book in hand. It's a great step one to getting the synapses firing, the muscle memory going for the most commonly referenced pertinent information in the book. Below that, it's all about the practice, building the muscle memory. We have the exam simulators that time you and grade you just like the real thing. And what's nice about these is you get an answer wrong, it tells you the exact location of that pamphlet, those rules and statutes where you would have found the correct answer. So very beneficial. Folks who use our course, they take the test. The test feels very familiar. They're passing no problem. We advertise a 98.7% success rate, and we stand by that.
Great. All right. Let's talk about the trade exam. So it is open book as well. How should you be preparing for the trade exam?
So the formula for preparing for your trade exam, very similar to Contractor Licensing Act exam. Open book exam, it's all about focus prep, practice test, laser focused on your exam scope, build that muscle memory, learn to correlate the important keywords with what sections of the book. So when you read a question, you know exactly where to go to find the answer. Again, right, repeating myself. Trick with the trade exams, you're going to have more than one book. So a big part of it is organizing your stack of books because you're still going to have roughly 2 minutes or so a question. So you want to be organized with your books, know what is where, have a plan of attack for the exam, so to speak. You don't want to go in there improvising, right? It's all about when you sit down, it's something you've done before. It feels very familiar.
Mm-hmm. And you say avoid reading cover to cover.
Right, absolutely. So that's not what this is about. If you're gonna, these are big, thick books. You got a lot of them. If you read them cover to cover and memorize information, you're working for NASA, and we landed on the Mars 10 years ago, right? Thank you. You did a great job. Thank you for that. No, this is about, again, practicing with the book, learning where that pertinent information is to your exam scope and how to reference it efficiently to finish the test with the correct answers under the time limit.
Right. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. Well, let's talk about the NASCL exam, which is pertinent to. Why don't you tell us who this is pertinent to? Why would someone be looking to take the West Virginia NASCL or get that license?
Right. So West Virginia accepts the NASCL exam. NASCL exam is a standard exam that 17 states will accept, right? And so if you have NASCL exam scores and you're looking to go into West Virginia will accept those NASCL exam scores for their general building contractor license, where you can build residential, commercial. So West Virginia does accept NASCL, right? And also, if you're getting started in West Virginia is where you want to start, but you very quickly see yourself moving into other states, then the NASGLA standard exam is a great option for you because you then won't have to take additional trade exams as you move into each of those states. So if you're not simply focused on West Virginia, you're looking to expand more nationwide, NASGLA is accepted by pretty much the entirety of the Southeast, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Utah, and I think Oregon as well will accept NASCA, as well as the Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands. But you got Florida, Georgia, the entire Southeast.
Right, and more importantly, the states that border West Virginia, like Virginia, and some of the others, Tennessee. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. You got Tennessee there, you got Virginia, moving down a little bit, you got the Carolinas, you got
Right.
Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. So great option if you're looking to expand outside of West Virginia.
And this is a separate package. You guys have the entire package, the course, all the books, everything. It's open book, right?
Yep.
We can go through the whole thing with you guys.
Yep. So this would be separate to if you were just doing West Virginia specifically on its own. This is a separate exam that West Virginia accepts in lieu of, so to speak, their regular general building contractor exam. Now, you will still have to take Contractor Licensing Act exam. Everybody's got to take that, right? This would just count for your trade exam.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to the application, the final piece to this. Tell us about this. It's submitted online, but what? Tell us about the accuracy. Why is that important here?
So you're getting the license to qualify your business, right? Where best case scenario, if you mess something up on the application, the state will say, "Hey, this doesn't compute. Go and do it again." Right?
Mm-hmm.
Worst case scenario, you can get in a lot of trouble. Actually, believe it or not, if you're less than honest, or maybe you're going about it with the best intentions. You're just rushing, and something gets by you, and it looks to the state like you might have tried to hide something. So you
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure it's perfect, right? Because this is a formal government document that you're going to sign, that everything's true and above board. So
Right.
you don't want any of the repercussions that can come with if they feel you lied to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on the application, right, you want to have your business entity formed when you submit, because they're going to ask you questions about the ownership, the officers, right, all that kind of standard stuff. And that's the business you're qualifying with the license. So that's
Mm-hmm.
got to be formed. No experience requirement in West Virginia. There's no mandatory minimum experience requirement. They just require you pass the tests. Big thing in West Virginia, though, is they require a wage bond, which is unique to West Virginia. As far as I know, I don't know everything, but the majority of the Southeast will require surety bonds, but West Virginia requires specifically a wage bond, which could be a surety bond.
Mm-hmm.
You see there on the slide kind of how they calculate it. It's 4 weeks payroll at maximum capacity, and then plus 15% essentially is the bond that they want to see. And that can be a surety bond, It can be a check, money order, or cash, letter of credit, certificate of deposit. But on that, surety bond's your best option, right? Let's say you have, let's just go with the example. Let's say you need to get them a bond, $11,150. You want to tie up a liquid access like cash, give them $11,150 to just hold on. You want to tie up some of your credit line, $11,150, not a small amount of money. Surety bond, generally, you'll have to pay 1% of that amount annually, and you'll be good to go. So bonds, way to go.
And you guys can help with that, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. One-stop shop, One Exam Prep. We'll take you A to Z. Beyond the highlight and tab books, the online courses, the exam simulators. We have in-house insurance, in-house bonding. We can assist with the formation of your business entity. We really take you A to Z. You get a guidance counselor to take away all the unknowns. So you focus on studying for and passing the exams. The only things we really can't do for you. Everything else, we got you covered.
Wow, that's great. Okay, well, that sounds good. So just so we can show everybody, these are the different licenses that are in West Virginia. This is the One Exam Prep website. They have all the different categories of licenses, as well as the new business exam, application assistant, NASCLA. And Andrew, we've got your information down here, Andrew, oneexamprep.com. 877-775-9400, and we've got a special code from One Exam Prep, WV10 off. That will give you 10% off any of the West Virginia contractor prep packages, either on the website or by calling into the sales team or Andrew himself. So Andrew, thank you again for giving us this important update about West Virginia and the new exam requirements, new names, and everything that's on it. So great that One Exam's ahead of the curve, because I'm sure a lot of companies are not yet have adjusted to the new West Virginia changes.
Yeah, that business law change, it's huge. Because if you still have that business law manual, what you need's in there, but if you're working on outdated prep, focusing on that whole manual, you're wasting time. You're not working efficiently. So
all right.
Well, great. Thank you for having me.
Thanks again,
Always
Andrew.
good to be here.
And good luck to everybody in 2026 and beyond in your West Virginia contractor exams.